Hey guys, how are we? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the existing guys and all the new guys that have clicked on the link. I just did the intro about 2 seconds ago, but it wasn't recording and I had to do all of it again. If you're following the channel, you already know about the C63. For all the people that just clicked on the link, we are changing the filters today. So basically I'll give you a comparison once I get the old filters out. I've chose to go the BMC. I've had the BMC before in the past, and basically, if you've seen the channel, we did put them in the 458. Go back and have a look. Bit different, but we got two of these guys this time around. So what's basically happening and why I'm doing it is because, obviously, as far as I'm aware, the factory stuff is only paper. It's not as good as it can be. It's made to a price point. It probably filters really good, but you know, in some way, it's going to be restricting it. The reason why I chose the BMC, they are an Italian-made filter. To be honest, they're a very good quality filter. I haven't got them out of the packet yet, but you can have a bit of a look. So, got two of these guys. They are a lightly oiled filter. Yeah, they're just a lot nicer than the factory stuff. Larger pleats. They are like a cotton gauze almost, so they are very high flowing as well. We're about to compare both of them, obviously, to see what's going on, but let's get the old ones out. Now, it wouldn't be a DIY or a proper video if I didn't tell you what you needed. Now, I don't know what I did with it. Haha. This is literally all you need to do this. It's going to be a T25 Torx bit. If you haven't seen or know what a Torx bit is, you don't have to have the one with a hole in it, obviously, but it's just a T25 Torx. The other thing you're going to want to use, just for making it easy, is just your 1/4" drive extension, so you can basically just get to them all really easy. I kind of lied to you about the tools. The only other thing you're probably going to need to pull that all the way back is going to be a 7mm. Why you need the 7mm is basically just to loosen this guy. A set of pointy nose pliers, or if you're really manly enough, you can grab it and pull the clouse back yourself. The other one is a pick tool and a 1/4" drive ratchet. That's all you need, literally all you need. So if you do or do not know, Mercedes like to disguise everything, but these guys here are your air filter covers. So we just have to take out the Torx bit. So you're going to find 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's grab one out first. Why you need the 7mm is basically just to loosen this guy so you can tilt the cover up. A set of pointy nose pliers, or if you're really manly enough, you can grab it and pull the clouse back yourself. That allows that to come off, so you got one on either side. So I didn't show you how to access that, obviously. This is just a cover. I didn't show you how to access that sensor on that side. So basically, you just push on the back end and that releases like a tab. That should cover off, and then you can access the second sensor on this side. So to get this clip off, this sensor up here, so you can pull this cover back. On the Mercedes clips, what you'll find is that this part here is like a locking tab. You pull the locking tab back, and then that allows you to basically put the pick in here, lift up that little plastic bit there, and that'll allow you to release the clip. So I make it sound so easy, I might as well show you. So clips situated here, see how it's on? The locking clip is down, so put your pick tool in there, that pulls back the locking clip. You'll see that there's another piece of the little white plastic just here. So just on the white plastic is that black part there. You want to pull the black part up. That'll release it away from there. That allows you to move it out of the way and lift your cover up. So, factory element. Not a bad element. That's not what I'm really saying about and the reasons why to change these elements over. Filtration, awesome. What you tend to find is that they're not all that great because they are basically like a paper element. So, you know, they flow, but they're all about concentrated on, obviously, you know, filtration. So they will definitely stop everything, but they are just really thick paper, almost cardboard in basically design. And to be honest, for an AMG, it's probably a little bit disappointing that they didn't do some form of, you know, like cotton filter or just a heavier flowing filter. But, you know, it's all made to a standard. So This one's got a little bit of dirt in it. I am going to clean this out. I'm not going to bore you with it, but the only reason I'm going to clean the dirt out of this section using like a vacuum or basically an air line, blow it all out just so your new filters aren't getting that junk in straight away. Another little trick I tend to find when I was actually pulling these guys out, even though these are loose, as you can see they stay in the filter cover, they actually like to bite back in. So you're trying to pull this cover up and they keep getting stuck. Pull the bolt out a little bit further and unscrew it till it sort of grabs the secondary cover and it kind of holds it at the top so it doesn't push back in. That'll save you a world of pain when you're like, why can't I get the cover off? I've loosened them all. Pro tip. Now this side's a little bit trickier because you got all the plastic, so this one's a little bit more of a pain in the ass to get off. What I suggest you do, if you got a pick tool or something that's got a bit of a right angle in it, these, because they're sort of brand new, they're really, really tight, so try and run something around the rubber when it's connected to the plastic. That'll basically loosen it up enough so you can pull it off. Another good thing with AMG engineers, these little clamps, if you push them far enough, they actually lock open. So that's going to save you so much trouble when you try and put them back on, because this one technically has to stay on this side and stay unlocked. So see how that stays unlocked? Then you push it down and lock over the actual hose. That'll help you. That'll really save you. While I'm at it, guys, I've seen a couple videos sort of stating some facts that these filters kind of restrict. I don't know if you can see the hole in there. It's a little bit hard. There's obviously an inlet hole where it comes in, stating the fact that maybe these filters are like restrictive because they're blocking the inlet hole because they're like really, really thick on that end. Let me assure you guys that the factory filters don't block anything. I've seen some videos say that basically, you know, they all go the way down and they sort of block the inlet hole and sort of restrict flow. Well, number one, that's the intake, so it's not blocking to your turbos because obviously the turbos get their air from up here. So that whole panel up here is where the turbos suck in. So that's not really true. It's a bit of a myth busted. So these don't go any further than the top of that intake hole, so they're not restrictive anyway. I've seen some people say that. It's just not true. AMG engineers wouldn't be that stupid. So we got both filters out. Both sides are now just cleaned out. They got no dust or anything in them. So let's do a comparison on these filters to show you exactly what you're getting for your money. Okay, so both filters are out. Why are we changing them? What's the difference? Why should I spend the money, Alex? Well, it's plain and simple. You can already see the biggest difference in the filters just by looking at them. So look, plain and simple, obvious part of it without even really getting into depth is that the pleats are far more coarse on this filter than this one. It's more of an open filter. You can basically almost see through it. See how the light sort of penetrates? They are a cotton gauze. Some people are going to say, oh, but you know, I'm worried about stuff getting through. That's why they're lightly oiled. They're going to basically get all the lower particles, and no, the oil's not going to damage anything because it's lightly oiled. Nothing's going to come off. I do find with the Can-Ns, however, that they do come fairly heavily oiled, so I would wipe them off if you're putting a Can-N equivalent in before putting them into the system. Yes, it's not like, I don't think these are a hot wire system. They don't run like a MAF with a hot wire, so you're not going to do any damage, but still I like to take some of the excess oil off. With the BMCs, I found you don't need to. They're ready to go as is. Another one, besides obviously the flow, is the fact of the medium, which is obviously the material they're made out of. This one here, as far as I'm aware, it's almost like a cotton gauze. It's probably made out of something different, but as far as I can tell by looking at it, it almost looks like a cotton sort of material. It's very high flow. This one, as I've shown you, it's almost like cardboard. So you know, put some cotton over your mouth, put some cardboard over your mouth, what's actually going to go through? Don't put anything over your mouth. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying. There's no way that this paper element / cardboard is going to be better than something high flowing like this. I don't know if there's an actual power gain. If there is, it might be very minimalistic of maybe 5 horsepower. So yes, you may notice it, you may not. If you do, well then great. The only other thing I'm going to see you noticing out of this system is probably the intake noise. Obviously because it's more high flow, you might find that you can hear the blow-off valves a little bit more pushing back through, and you're going to find the intake noise is going to come up as well. Don't know, haven't driven it, don't know, I have time to drive it today, guys, but it's more about showing you how to do the filters. So I've cleaned them, these are ready to go back in. The paper elements, I wouldn't even bother. The other big thing about these ones too, I don't know price of the factory ones. I'm guessing from any auto parts store, they're not going to be expensive. They may be a $30, $40, $50 filter, depending where you are. AMG are going to slug you big money for them probably. So make sure you know that these, or make sure whoever's servicing the cars knows, these are reusable. So they can be cleaned out, they can be oiled again. Pretty much life of the car if you're not too rough with them. Never use compressed air to blow them because you will ruin the filter. Make sure you put the stickers on top of the air covers so that way whoever's servicing it knows not to chuck these guys out, or you're basically up for more money. I'm in Australia. The retail price on these two filters was about $300 for two, which is about right because most of your K&Ns are probably about anywhere from 100 to 150 each. You probably could shop around and save yourself some money, but I wanted them now. So it came in a couple days off of eBay. So that's where I got mine. eBay guys, BMC. Let's go put it all back together. Give a quick wipe down and we're done. So very simple process. Personally, I don't think you need to, well, you probably don't need to take off the front hose. You will still need to loosen the one to the turbo, and you probably could lift it up enough to pull the filters out if you really can't be bothered doing the whole process. But I say do it, like I said, because then you can see in, you see if there's any junk in that plastic tray where it breathes in. You can vacuum it out and you can basically have a nice clean platform for your new filters. The two things to note that I thought were a little bit pain in the ass and probably going to save you a bit of time is number one, locking these guys back. This one here on the left hand side has to basically stay here. You can't leave it on the hose and then bring it up. So remember to leave it here and then put it back on when the hose is on. So bringing it back over the hose. This one doesn't matter so much. It can go down, it can stay there, but this one was a pain. Remember the screws, guys, pull them all the way, tighten. That'll allow you to put the cover back down nice and simple, because if you have them protruding out and loose, they might miss the actual holes on either side and it could be very troublesome to get that cover back on. Don't forget to plug your filter, your airflow sensors back in. Basically clip them in, lock the clipping tab down, and you're done. That's both sides done now. Old filters are out, new filters are in. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope that gave you some insight as to do your filter. It wasn't needed to be real step by step. It's a very simple process. If you're enjoying it, stick around, press the subscribe button, get ready for all the new videos because they're ready to come. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.